Here at Be Freaking Awesome, we believe that life is too short to be anything less than extraordinary. Join us as we explore what it means to live authentically, grow continuously, and have a blast while doing it. Let's get started.
Welcome everyone to today's episode. Okay, we've been saying for 3 weeks we're going to talk about automatic negative thoughts. And first you listen to metacognition. I know y'all love that because y'all were texting me. Like I got more texts that week than I did. Well, no, I'm lying. The friendship episode got a lot of texts. And then next I got some people. And podcast world, y'all that have been here a while know that we record these at different times. And so when I got the first couple of texts, I was like, I don't even know what we're talking about. Oh, and they would do these little cute puns around thought. Anyway, so we talked about metacognition, and then we talked about cognitive distortions. And I was like, but wait, we still have to get to automatic negative thoughts. So that's what we are going to talk about today. When your brain stops waiting for a reason and it just like automatically happens.
So,
how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm here for it. I was laughing at you. It's having a good time. This is I think this is a new concept for me. She says with a question mark. But it's also similar to metacognition was a new concept for me. And then I was like, no, it's not. I know what this is. I just don't know what this is. But you're the one who has sort of brought this concept to the table. And so
yes.
What's about, bad mood, just having a bad day? Like what?
Yep.
What actually is an automatic negative thought? And how is it different than like an automatic positive thought or an automatic regular thought?
Okay, well, we're going to back
What's
up.
An automatic thought?
As we always do. My friend and I say when I was 4. So often here on the podcast, we got to back it all the way up. So when I was getting certified as a life coach, it was 5 years ago. That's crazy. Anyway, so I started it.
I don't know why for me it's like 15 years ago in my brain. I was like, no. You're like, oh my gosh, it was 5 whole years. And I'm like, I thought it was like 15 years. Hasn't it been forever?
Anyway, okay, so when I was being trained to be a life coach, I went to the life coach school, and the philosophy that we were trained, and when I say philosophy we were trained on, like this is the water that we were baptized in, and no, this is the rule. And I fought it the whole time, is that the training we received was that a circumstance happened, it results in a thought, the thought creates the feeling creates the action creates the response. Here's what's fun, is that in 2017, if you read Be Freaking Awesome, I laid this out because I actually first heard this concept all the way back in 1999 when I trained under Jack Canfield. So it's not like when I was training to be a life coach, this was a brand new concept. It's just the way they were talking about it. That's when I was coming into my awakening that this is not always there. And then recently I heard this concept of the automatic negative thought. And I'm like, yes. Because I've had the experience, and what I believe is that sometimes a circumstance happens in life coach, that's the C, the circumstance. And we have a sensation that rises up in our body. And then we try to make sense of it. That's the thought. And then we decide what it means, and that's the feeling. So the sensation is the somatic experience. It's the like, I thought I stepped on a snake and I like catch my breath, or like you have something bad happen, and all of a sudden that it's that instant response. And so and then you have a thought about it. Okay, so that's a conscious thought. An automatic negative thought is when we have a situation where, similar to that sensation, we just default to negative. And sometimes people are like, oh, you're being a pessimist if you say it out loud. And it's like, it's not. It's just that your brain, as we remember from the motivational triad, our brain wants to save energy. And so it's like, oh, I've seen this pattern before. Boop. Of course, nothing ever works out for me. Of course, everybody drops the ball. I can't trust anybody. And you're like, where did that come from? That is not how I believe. And whenever we get conscious about it, we're like, whoa, hold on. What's interesting is that we end up having feelings about our feelings, right? And we like judge ourselves because we had this automatic negative thought. So I just like it because there's a word for it. Just like there's a word for the nervous system response, there's like it's a vocabulary term we can use.
We have talked before about when you have limiting beliefs,
Yeah.
because I've heard you break it down, your thoughts create your feelings create your actions.
Uh-huh.
And then you added in your beliefs can create your thoughts. And there's that step before.
Okay, I
Can
just
you,
want to give credit where credit's due because Gandhi actually said that first. But go ahead.
Gandhi, Angela Belford, same thing. Um, what what is the difference between an automatic negative thought and a limiting belief?
I would say that you have to understand the difference between a belief and a thought. So,
My gosh, can't just be a straightforward answer.
it can never be a straightforward answer.
I'm just kidding,
Because
by
I
the
really
way.
want to answer the question of where these automatic negative thoughts come from, and they are actually formed from early life experience, social environmental influence, and core beliefs that you have about yourself, because your beliefs create your thoughts. So when you have those negative core beliefs, then that's the seed that has been planted. So from that seed, I'm not enough. Guess what weeds pop up from that?
Hmm.
The automatic weeds that pop up are the from the actual negative thought. I just have never heard it called the automatic negative thought. It was one of those things like, oh, I've talked about this idea a lot,
Yeah.
but I didn't know it was and I love having a shorthand for something because
Hmm.
then I can be like, in the way that one of the my favorite coping skills that you use is thank you anxiety. I know you're just trying to keep me safe. And so that's a really quick shorthand. And so by going, oh, automatic negative thought, okay, that's funny. uh Victoria's song calls it your impending doom generator. That's probably a cuter phrase. um
Well, I feel like it's different. My impending doom generator and my anxiety are cousins.
for sure.
But those aren't necessarily my thoughts.
Hmm.
It's like it is the um if you have a machine, a factory, a production line, if you will, the production line doesn't when we get real like weird and meta, the production line doesn't make the product. There was ingredients put into the machine that made the product. But sometimes the little production machine can be designed to like slice and dice it in just the right way that can change. And so you have the ingredients in the machine, you have the output, but then you also, the machine itself is impacting the system. So it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, our beliefs and even our early experiences and the way that we have lived in the world, that creates the machine.
Yep.
Okay. And then there's an input, some input, and the machine itself changes the output. And so it can change the thought that happens next. And this I think is really important because there's so many times where people are like, just choose a better thought. And I'm like, oh, sure. I'll just stop being anxious too. Like, why not? Just it's not always so like, oh, just choose a new thought, as if you can choose a new thought like you choose a new shirt. It's not quite so conscious. That doesn't mean I can't do work and go open up the machine and say, now where is this? Where did that part come from? I need to, if I can understand in part where it came from, how it's happening, I can start to shift what is going on inside the machine so that I can get a different output. Is this a good metaphor? Is this working?
I've never heard this metaphor, and I like it. I like it a whole lot. What
This
I was
is
gonna
live,
say
guys.
is
This is real and live.
the metaphor that I typically use, and I use a lot in the book, is if you have a dandelion and you cut it off at the, you just use a weed whacker, whack it off. Guess what's going to happen next week? That little dandelion's going to pop back up. And so and then you can weed whacker it again, and it's just going to keep popping back up. And you can sit there and be really annoyed. Why is this dandelion keep popping back up? Or you can be like, there's a root. I got to dig out the root, and I got to pull that out. Otherwise, so that way the dandelion doesn't keep popping back up. So to me, this is a cool indicator light. This is a check engine light. So there's nothing wrong with having automatic negative thoughts. And sometimes people wonder what's the difference between an automatic negative thought and pessimism. Pessimism, you're conscious. I have a friend that says, I'm not pessimistic, I'm realist. I'm like, stop it. Just stop it.
I feel like pessimist, realist, cynic, we're all using our excuses to make us feel better about our higher ground.
You know what's funny is that sometimes, especially in marketing, I will be like, "Ooh, my cynicism is taking over. Sorry about that."
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was growing up, we still wore slips, and so I would be like, "Ooh, my slip's showing." My cynicism. I would never cop to being a pessimist. I just am not. So anyway, but just be aware that none of this, and that doesn't mean pessimists are bad. No judgment. If it's working for you.
Is there really no judgment?
I don't. I like.
Oh.
Are you enjoying your life? Are you getting the results you want? Here's what you can't do. You can't be an active pessimist and then come and complain to me that nobody wants to be your friend. I got nothing for you. Like, And I'm like, well, you're a pessimist. Why are you judging me for being a pessimist? I'm not. You indicated there was a problem. You have a problem that you don't have friends, and you don't. And I'm not saying pessimists don't have friends. Just be clear. Mm-hmm. If you complain that you are lonely, you don't have, then I'm just saying, Anyway, we digress.
I digress.
We digress because there's my favorite pessimist. I'm pretty sure doesn't listen to the podcast, so.
Oh, now I want to know who your favorite pessimist is. No, man. So funny.
They are not. That is.
They're not funny. That's so funny. Anyway. So do you have any examples? Any moments that you can bring up for us?
Yes. There's so many good ones. And you will now start to hear them, and it will make you crazy now that you will hear them. It won't make you crazy. I'm so sorry.
I will say I have been hearing a lot more lately people's limiting beliefs, and they're not saying it on purpose, and they're not using that language, but they're talking. And I was chatting with somebody who's seeking new opportunities for a job after a restructuring at their company that occurred and left them seeking other employment opportunities. And just the way that she was talking about herself, it was like, yeah. And she's like, and I'm just not a fit. And everywhere keeps saying that, like, there's just, and it's like, what is wrong with me? And I just don't feel like I have what it takes. And I'm like, oh, you see it? It's right there. It's right there. You need help. Anyway, and it's really hard to like aggressively yell at somebody. You need help. Do you have what it takes? Don't believe that. Like, blah. Anyway, you get real crazy. And but I just like, I'm seeing it everywhere.
People don't actually want you to just walk around diagnosing them. I have found in 4 years of being a life coach, almost 5, that it is much more effective if you wait and let them pay you.
Oh, that's a good idea. But what's funny,
because then they're open to it. I'm not just trying to say that because of the money, but then they're open to it.
Well, okay. I will also say somebody was asking me at a conference I was at, they were like, do you have like a therapist background or like a psychology degree or something? And I was like, no, I'm trained in books and the internet and life experience, which means that I don't have any rules or regulations regulating what I have to say. Like, I can say what I want and I don't have to worry about HIPAA. Anyway, that's not true. We keep confidentiality, but in any case,
confidentiality. I also have had to. No. Yeah, I'm affirming you. Yes, we do.
Well, and we can talk about things that therapists may not talk about it in the same way. We talk about a lot of similar things, like automatic negative thoughts, but I'm more likely to tell you, well, here's what you got to do, and your therapist is gonna like lead you there. I don't have that rule.
What's really funny about that is that I've had that question a couple times where people will be like, "Oh, so what is your background and training?" Would you like to see my
School
screen
of
from the School
Life.
of Hard Knocks? Number one. Number two is that like I never profess to have any more education than I actually have.
Right.
Which is number one. I have a certification, a life coach certification. Number two, I have trained you a lot, so you have also had a ton of training. Number three, I have 2 degrees in marketing, and I say marketing is psychology for business. So from my perspective, the integrity lies in that we never claim to be anything that we're not. So, anyway, for those people that need somebody to have this big like wall of certifications, they need them to have all of that. I'm just like,
okay,
cool,
go find
I
that.
may not be the right fit for you. Back to what they
Yeah,
actually are.
I interrupted.
No,
You're giving an example. We rabbit trailed.
that's okay. I was just gonna be like, oh, I feel like you just earned a new stripe in your, your coach certification when you like just somebody's saying some words and you're like, ooh, I can see under the hood of your brain. Sorry, I'm gonna rabbit hole one more time because one time I said something and somebody goes, oh, that's Angela, she's unfiltered, and I said, oh, I filter a lot. I got in so much trouble because they were like, this is the filtered version. And then I go, I mean, I didn't say the filter was real fine tooth. I mean, it just lets a lot of things through, but let's go. Okay. So the first one is, I knew it. See, I always mess things up. Even if they've got a small, the story gets really huge and it's kind of this out, we just kind of overblow things. Similar to that, they think, and you are assuming what people, oh, they're mad at me. They think I'm incompetent.
Oh my gosh. This one, I think I have to talk people down from a good number of times when somebody be like, oh my gosh, so-and-so so mad at me. I'm like, oh, what happened? They're like, oh, they didn't answer my text message. Or like something like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I could tell you the number of text messages that are currently unanswered on my phone, none of them because I am mad at someone, and all of them because ADHD is off the charts, and I have a pretty busy full life right now. I don't know if you knew this. I have 3 small children. They take a lot of time and energy, especially in like your prime text back time in the evenings. My kids get all that energy. So anyway, like, no, what is the I don't that is an automatic negative thought, and I just find myself arguing with people being like, that's dumb. That's incorrect. It's factually incorrect. You have no evidence for that. So I don't do that
I think
meanly.
the nice way to say, I think just if we could just
soften it.
Well, if I give you the coach answer versus the friend response, the friend response, you can say whatever you want. You be true to you. But the coach response might be, how can you know? Kind of like the 4 questions, which apparently, according to our transcripts, I say all the time. Loving what is, the 4 questions. Can you know that's true?
Is that true?
Is it true? And can you know for a fact that it's true? Is the first couple of questions. And so you can't know that somebody else is mad at you unless they tell you, unless they say, I'm really angry with you. And then you can be like, well,
okay, I have the evidence that somebody said they're mad at me.
And then it's like, now what do you want to do with that? Do you need to ask for forgiveness? Do you need to repair the relationship? Or they just need a minute to be mad? I mean, I've had to say a lot lately. I'm just like, oh my God. I'm working really a lot with AI, a lot. And it has really made me super aware of my humanity. Because I'll be like, and I say this, I bet once a day, sorry, I'm a human, have real feelings. You're going to have to give me a minute. And it's really helped because people are like, oh, you're right, we're not robots. I'm like, yeah, nope, I work with the robots all day, every day. Another automatic negative thought that people have is it's this idea of it's too late. So I hear it a lot in really early 30-year-olds. This is so interesting because that 30 to 33, I should be further along by now. And then I also hear it in like the late 40s, 50s, like, oh crap, I thought I would be further along by now. And both of these are like this, the age is supposed to be a metric for something, and further along than what? Are you further along than 18-year-old you? Probably so. And
I read some research specifically about this where when you are at the 9 year of a decade, so 29, 39, 49, there is significantly more introspection, reflection, and that feeling of angst of I should be further along. Oh my gosh, I'm at the end of my 20s and this is all I've accomplished. I don't have the house and the 2 kids and the white picket fence. Like, what is wrong with me? And it was very interesting that they had tied that year. I read this the year I turned 29, and
I was
so
just going to say that hasn't been my experience in the 30s. It is 30 to, I hear it more from 30, and maybe that could be a result of the fact that because you're 31, I'm around people that are in that 30 to 35-year old right now.
yeah.
That could be the reason why. So this is 100% anecdotal, although I do remember feeling it myself. It's like there's something about you're still in your 20s and then you get to 30 and you're like, yeah, this is okay. It's okay. It's okay. Or maybe you did, but 31, 32, 33, you're like, oh man. And I think it's
Yeah.
trajectory. Like I'm not even on the path that feels like I'm going to be in a
Yeah.
place.
I think my friends and I have been talking about this feeling since since a year or 2 after
Yeah,
college, and
I'd say.
so, what's the next one?
The last one is the that we're going to talk about today is the so you stumble over somebody, you stumble over words, you forget somebody's name, you miss a deadline, and your brain is like, everybody is watching, everybody noticed that I stumbled, and it's like the spotlight effect on overdrive. You know,
Mm,
the like everybody saw that, and what I've decided when I get that negative thought is I'm like, oh, yep, they might have, but then I bet that's going to encourage somebody that I'm still human.
I also feel like this one of the things that will happen is that when you mess up that one tiny thing in
Mm-hmm.
the whole presentation was obviously horrible
Horrible.
because you stumbled over your words that
Yep.
one time.
Yep.
I got to give friend coaching at the Women in Tech conference last year in 2025 that I had a friend, Sapna, who during the talk, her throat got really dry and she was kind of coughing from them. And she goes, "Can somebody bring me a bottle of water in the middle of the presentation?" And she stopped and she got a bottle of water. She took a drink, she screwed it, and she kept going. She afterwards was like, "Oh my gosh, what a horrible, horrible, horrible talk," because I asked for a bottle of water in the middle of it because my throat was dry. I was like, "Stop that. Did you notice the standing ovation that you got? That you were one of the only speakers who got a standing ovation? Did you notice the 3 or 4 times that you had everybody cheering and clapping with you saying, 'Yes, sister, that's right. Oh, yes, amen.'" It was like a whole thing. And yet, somehow or another, you needing a drink of water in the middle of it made the whole thing worthless? Like, no, 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 no. Anyway, we saw her this year I got to see her this year at the Women in Tech conference, and she pulled me into a big hug. I was like, "I still think about that moment that you reminded me that one mistake does not ruin the whole thing." And
Mm.
so I love that I get to sit with her and that when something like that happens again, she goes, "Nope, my friend Sammy would say that this," and that has
Mm.
been what interrupted her negative thought for
I
her,
love
was just
that.
having one person to say, "That's factually
Yep.
not true. Do you notice this other evidence that your brain skipped past?" So that
Yeah.
was a really cool moment I got to have.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Besides having a friend point out and challenge, what are some other ways that people can catch negative thoughts and try
I
to
think
do something
the
about it?
I think the thing that the most important skill that we have to learn as we land this plane is that um, all of the things that we teach on Be Freaking Awesome are about being more aware, more present, more where you are. And when you can do that, and when you can begin to notice that you are not your thoughts, and you separate that,
Mhm.
and you go, and I say, my shorthand is my brain is offering me the thought. And if you don't like that language, like find something that works for you. But like my anxiety is telling me my
Mhm.
thought. And so separation, to be able to notice a thought is not true necessarily. It's just your brain could be just responding to a previous situation. It could be responding to, it's just a rut that you've been in. Like, it's no big deal. Just offering a thought, no big deal. Figure out that it whether it's fact or not. Can I know it's true? How can I know it's true? And then make sure that you check in with your body. Like, sometimes you can check in with your body and be like, ooh, heart's racing, sweating a little. Cool, no problem. Oh, that thought. Yeah, I had that thought. This is what happened. So I think being present, noticing your thoughts, checking in with your body, those are some of the things that I would encourage.
I think that's really good. Angela, thanks for joining me on our little journey. We had an accidental three-part series on things that we've learned that we've actually known for a really long time. We finally learned, like we were talking about. Here's the name for it in psychology and in all of this stuff. There's a real name.
It's a shorthand.
I think that is, if I could call out and toot our own horn, there is an element that this is part of why I think that the work that we do and what we have to talk about resonates so much with people is because we aren't always using, this is an automatic negative thought. Here's your metacognition about this thing. And so sometimes if something feels too textbook-y, if you will, it's hard to relate to. And to, even though we don't have degrees in this and we've not read all the textbooks that exist in all of the areas we talk about, I think that's part of what makes what we bring to the conversation a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more raw, and more relatable in some ways. So we are not a replacement for your therapist by any means, but if
we think everybody should be in therapy. And I did read the textbook, The Body Keeps Score, which is the encyclopedia of a lot of this stuff.
Right.
So.
And I've recently just finished the textbook of Atlas of the Heart, which is a lot of different words about emotions and defining emotions. And that has been really, really great. I think that sometimes it is helpful to say, oh, no, this isn't just our experience. It is backed up by the science and the textbooks and the research. And it was fun to get to learn hey, these are not just our own lived experience and anecdotal things. These are hard things that we deal with and that enough people deal with. There is a term for it. So you are not, I was going to say you're not weird, but we can be weird. Weird is good. Weird is great. You are normal to have automatic negative thoughts and to struggle with cognitive distortions. These are lived human experiences. It is not, something is not, quote, wrong with you because this is happening. And so you're just a human, and even the robots need maintenance. So you can get some maintenance too as a human.
There you go.
Next week, we are going to be talking about, I kind of just want to give the super clickbaity teaser with nothing else. We're going to be talking about how to solve all your problems.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this episode. It's hilarious. You guys, seriously, we do these episodes. The way sometimes they come up is Friday night, we're talking and we're thinking about stuff. And then we go, wait a minute. And luckily we have the podcast guide on our phone. And so we wrote this on a Friday night.
We're going to talk about how to solve all your problems. And then we had another 20-minute conversation about how it might not be all of your problems, but it's a lot of them. So that's a less clickbaity, is that how to solve a lot of problems, usually, kind of. Let's just soften it a whole bunch. It's going to be a good time. I can't wait for you guys to join for that conversation.
I'm gonna put the asterisk that health is not something you solve. It's not a problem you solve. So therefore, that's our caveat.
But we can do things to help it in some ways.
Sure.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Until next time, everyone, we hope you guys go be freaking awesome.